To win even a single event on the PGA Tour is a spectacular achievement, even among the world class. But to win multiple events and a major championship, well, that simply catapults you to a near permanent status among some of the greatest who ever played the game. This is why it is my privilege to introduce you today to our guest instructor. He happens to be a member here at the club at Horseshoe Bay, as well as a multiple winner and a major champion. Rich Beem, so glad to have you here.
Thank you very kindly.
You know, whenever you accepted the offer to come here and teach as a guest instructor, I mentioned to you, you may remember this, I said, hey, is there some part of the game that you'd feel most comfortable teaching? And there was a pause on the phone. You said, no, Bobby, pick the topic.
There's lots of shots that you have to hit during a round of golf. I mean, pick one and we'll figure it out.
Well, that's what you said, because I've worked with many teachers who say, well, I'll teach putting but not chipping, or chipping but not pitching. And then I got to think, well, that makes sense. I mean, you're a major champion. You should be familiar with pretty much every aspect of the game.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Well, that's great. You know, part of the game that we're going to do today is the fairway bunker, and we're out here.
What? The what?
Wait, that's the one part he doesn't want to teach.
The fairway. Like anything easier you could have picked? Oh, man. We're going to do this.
We're going to work this thing out, it looks like. But before we do, I want you to take us back. You know, I remember, and will forever remember, where I stood when you made that final putt to fend off Tiger, to turn the trick to win your first ever major championship at Hazeltine in 2002. Tell us what that moment was like.
It's surreal, and it still is by a wide margin if I actually take a look back and kind of think about what I was doing. But I was playing some unbelievable golf at the time, and so going through and playing golf, that's exactly what I was doing. I was playing golf. I wasn't really working on my swing that much. Everything about my game was pretty spot on, and just to go out there and just play the game. Listen, to be on the PGA Tour first and foremost was an accomplishment, and then to win my rookie year was a massive accomplishment. But to win a major was mind-blowing, and I would have never expected it. In fact, as a kid, I never even dreamt that big. It was just one of those things where you just don't expect that to happen to you. I think that's for the select few, and for whatever reason, I was honored to be one of those select few.
Well, I'll never forget it. As I say, there were 7 of us that came off the couch because
Where were you, by the way?
Terrific moment. I was in Dubuque, Iowa. Yeah, teaching golf at Eagle Ridge.
Did you lose a bet to get to Dubuque, Iowa?
No, we were pulling for you, man, the whole way. We saw your general spirit, and we said that's an affable guy, and we want him to win.
That's me.
And so it's been fun watching you ever since. So I'll tell you what, let's get in this fairway bunker and unveil the mysteries of the 150-yard bunker shot.
I'm in.
All right, let's do it. So take us through the shot, and what I mean by that is what you're looking at here, the yardage, how you chose your club, all that.
So we've got 150 yards here, and I was fortunate when I went to a junior academy back when I was 13 years old at PGA West. The one thing that I remember, or the only thing I remember, is when you're in a fairway bunker, you need to look at the front end of the golf ball. Never look at the top, never look at the back, always look at the front. And what that does is it forces your mind to concentrate on swinging through the shot instead of at the golf ball. I think a lot of times when you're in the fairway, you either look at the top of the ball or the back of the ball where you want to strike it. If you start looking back there, you get a little bit steep and you catch any grain of sand, guess what? You're gonna hit it fat. So the most important thing, I believe, is always to look at the front of the golf ball. Another thing that I learned when I was on tour, listening to, ironically, Johnny Miller, was he said, always toe the club slightly in. Oh. And what that does is it actually takes away almost half the golf club. It almost takes away this part of it. If you open it up this way, this part of the golf club is exposed. If you go this way, this part of the golf club is exposed. Most people, when they hit the golf ball, they go heel deep. Very few times people get toe deep with their shots. So he says, go ahead and toe it in just ever so slightly. So we've got 150 yards here, and this is actually a 9-iron normally, but we're into a little bit of a wind, so I'm gonna go ahead and take an 8-iron. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shut it down just a little bit, not a lot. I'm gonna go, this is square and this is a little toed in. And I always play it in the center of my stance. Try and get it right in the middle of it. And when you dig your feet in, what does that mean? That means you actually sink down a little bit. So what does that equate to? You got to choke down. You have to choke down just a little bit. So instead of grabbing it on this end of the golf club, I'm going to go ahead and grab it just a little bit further down, Bobby, and center the stance, and I'm going to go ahead and toe it in just a little bit, and I'm looking right up at the front of the golf ball right there. And I'm just going to swing as normally as I can.
She's coming back.
And she's riding the wind. She's hooking a little bit. It's on the green someplace, but it's more about clean contact, and you have to kind of keep as few variables out of this shot as possible. If you choke down just a little bit and you look at the front part of the golf ball and you toe it a little bit, you have all the opportunities to catch it clean. Now, there's other things you can do, hang back by you trying to lift it out of the bunker. Listen, just kind of keep it as simple as you possibly can.
Excellent. Well, so you heard it. We talked about some of the shot specifics, playing it back, pretending the front of the ball is actually the back of the ball and placing your focus there, adjusting the wedge for different particulars so that you can catch the ball clean, and then playing it smart. And that's all good work, and so glad to have you out here.
Thank you very much, Bob.
Demonstrating all that. It's a pleasure, and if we
Appreciate
ever
it.
have you back, we'd love to.
Absolutely, anytime you ask.
All right. Thank you now.